Hey guys, Joseph with Gateway Collectibles here. Today I just want to take a little bit and look at our website. I want to give you guys some insight into how we develop the brand, how we are developing the brand going forward, the design of the website, and then just some tips I've learned as I've been building the website over the past few weeks. So let's hop on over there and take a look at what we've got. Before we get into the website too much, let's take a second to talk about the branding or the brand that we're developing because developing a brand is just a constant process where everything you do builds upon the brand and the identity that is associated with the brand. So right now we have a logo. We have a few social media accounts that are contributing to the image of the brand that we want to have. So with the name of the store, what we wanted to do was create something that we had a connection to. So my brother and I, who I run the store with, are from St. Louis, Missouri, which is home to the Gateway Arch. And what are we selling on our store? Collectibles. We hope to expand beyond Pokemon in the future. For right now, all we have is the international Pokemon product. But in the future, we plan to add more to it. So we think this name kind of gives a pretty good idea of what we hope to have accomplished, years down the line. And then with the logo, what we wanted to do was kind of incorporate some of the elements of the name into it. So it's a pretty simple logo, really, but I think it does a good job of explaining who we are. All I did was create the logo in Canva. So I have a template here that has our logo and different iterations of the logo. At first, it was just the Gateway Arch. My brother and I decided we wanted something a little bit more going on in there, so we added the wizard down the line. I just kind of think it looks sort of almost like the wizard is opening the gateway. And I think that just kind of adds a nice touch to it. So in terms of branding on the website, outside of the logo, everything else we're looking for is just trying to contribute to a clean, professional, and trustworthy looking business. So we're doing that by just having a nice, simple layout, and hopefully it's not too much to take in, but it is just enough to get you interested in diving deeper into the website. And then a lot more of the branding's happening on social media. If you're interested in hearing about our social media strategy, which you are participating in right now by watching this video, just let us know down in the comments and we can make a video on that and sort of discussing our strategies and what we're hoping to do in the future, what has worked, what hasn't worked. Anyway, let's talk more about the website. So welcome to the homepage of the website. A few things I hope you guys notice right off the bat is the banner that we have, the moving little tag down at beneath the banner, and then the products we have for sale right beneath it. And then of course you have all of your important information up in the header as well. I kind of developed the website to bring your eyes front and center and then down towards the product. So you have a pretty eye-catching banner there, which is just a royalty-free image I found online. Then you have the motion of the banner just beneath it that kind of brings your eyes down, which sort of draws your eyes towards the product. Right now we have a solid selection of products, a few things out of stock, which is good too, of course. It means that we're selling some stuff. Um, but a pretty wide variety just right at the top. So that way people kind of know that we are covering a lot of bases when it comes to international Pokemon in that market. Then as you go further down, you have some of our smaller categories, just the lower dollar value items, which are the English singles that we have. No huge bangers in there, but definitely some solid cards from the Crown Zenith set. Then you have the individual and bulk packs of booster packs. So if you don't want to, if one of your customers doesn't want to make a full purchase, and we've definitely already sold a few of these. Sometimes it's just easier for somebody to make a $25 purchase as opposed to something closer to $100. Then as you keep going down on the homepage here, you have the notification or the newsletter form that we fill out. And for us, if we have people fill it out, they get a 5% coupon code emailed to them right away. So let's head back to the top here and I'll sort of just go element by element, at least the important stuff, and just kind of explain how we got there and what it took to get to this point. So first thing I want to say is I'm not a graphic designer or a web developer. So this is something that I put together just by learning things off of YouTube and a little bit of prior experiences using tools like Canva, and like small website editing prior to this. So it really doesn't take a lot to develop a website that looks good and it looks trustworthy, which is really what you want to go for if people are going to trust you with their money, uh, and believe that you're going to send them a product. So we got a really good header here, that sort of just gives everything they need right at the top of the screen that follows them as they're scrolling through. Gives them our name, gives them a search bar if they know exactly what they want. One thing about the search bar is that is not something I would have thought to include right front and center on the website. Um, that's something I usually see off to the side. But if you go check out a lot of the bigger TCG websites, you'll see a lot of them do have that search bar right front and center. So a lot of what this website is just sort of iterating off of what the larger businesses are doing. And so that way they've already done the testing and they know what works. So we can kind of just base a lot of what we have off of that. Then, as you go to the header menu, we don't have a lot of different categories to fill this out yet. So we're actually able to just fit everything right here. There's no drop downs off of this. We have Japanese Pokemon, Korean Pokemon, now Chinese Pokemon, which needs to be added to that. We have singles, and then just a few extra things to get people traffic driven towards the newsletter, a blog, which I'm still working on developing some articles for, and a contact page in case anybody needs to contact us, of course. Then we kind of already talked about the header, so let's take a look at this scrolling banner here. You can see it's got that movement like that I said I was hoping would draw people's eyes down towards the product, but also kind of give them some important information as well. We want people to join that newsletter so we can get people coming back to the site, earn some repeat customers, and also let them know that any order over $100 ships free. So this just kind of worked out to be that item that brought your eyes attention downward. Um, and then as you take a look at the product, we kind of already gone over the product we have, but something we haven't talked about is the importance of formatting your product images. So whenever you're creating a product and you have to add an image, what I have been doing is pulling those images just off of Google, and just finding the highest quality image I can. But what you shouldn't do is just directly drop that image into your product page, because what's going to happen is you're going to end up with a bunch of different images. They're all going to be different sizes, and it's going to look not super great or professional on your website. So you'll end up with an image that's small, and then your add to cart buttons up here, text up there, and then you have an image that's big and the add to cart buttons down here. So in order to get these uniform, what you want to do is create a Canva account, or if you're familiar with any other photo editing software, I'm sure there's an easy way to do that there as well. So when you go over to Canva, you create a 1000 by 1000 template. You drop the photo of the product on the template. Then if you have, in this example, if you have any text you want to add to the image, where what we're doing is just adding the language so it's very clear, nobody's confused about what they're buying. We have the language in the image. Um, and then you just end up with a well formatted image that's going to be uniform across all your products on your site. And so that way you end up with something that looks like this, and it's just a straight line across and no funny business happening there. And then another thing I want to share with you guys, just another tip that I learned from a different YouTube video I watched from Pokey. He has a really great video explaining the whole process of building a website from scratch on Wix. So I'll link that down below and you can check it out. But just a little nugget of wisdom from that video was he suggests to export all your images as JPEGs. The file sizes are smaller, and so it makes your website run a little more smoothly. I don't think we would have an issue like that at this point, considering we have less than 20 products, but I'm sure as you get into the hundreds of products ranges, if you have file sizes that are much larger than what the JPEG is, you can get those slow loading pages, and that's just not something anybody wants to deal with. Another thing that I want to talk about, just a tip, is about formatting the website. So we can actually hop over to the editor for this one. So here in the editor, you can select the different sections, and with each section, you can move the elements around and make them fit however best you think represents your brand or what represents what you're trying to do. Um, Something that I hadn't realized for about a week after the site went live was that the boxes can sometimes overlap with one another, which it makes sense, but you'll see what I'm talking about in a second here. So in this case, the login bar box was stretched way over here on top of the cart box. And that was causing the cart box to not be able to be clicked. So it doesn't look like it's covering up when you go back to the website. Like I said, it looked just like this. But the box was blocking it. So you got to be really careful with, how you format each of your pages. You want to make sure everything is within the confines of where you want it to be, and you don't want elements overlapping with one another. So that way everything works as intended. And last thing I want to do is take a look at the home page of our Wix editor on the back end and just kind of use this as a benchmark for future videos we may make on developing the website or other things with the brand. So as of right now, just a little over 3 weeks in, I think, we've had 478 site sessions from 337 unique visitors, and then 16 form submissions. So those are people who are submitting the form at the bottom to get the 5% discount. If you want to, I'll leave a link to the website in the video. You can fill out that form yourself, even if you don't plan on purchasing anything. It could be a good way to just sort of follow our journey and see as we're adding new products and growing the store. Thanks for watching the video. Be sure to give us a subscribe if you want to follow the rest of this journey. I know my brother and I are going to have a lot more videos that come out about developing the business, and we're still really in our early stages here, so every like and subscribe means a lot. Go check us out on gatewaycollectibles.shop. Fill out that newsletter, like I said, to kind of keep up with what we're doing and the new products we're releasing. And leave a comment below if you guys have any ideas for things I can do better on the site, or if you have any questions about some of the stuff that's already there. We'll see you in the next one.